What's up, guys? JP here with Leprechaun Fantasy Workshop. Got some fun things to do today, crafting-wise. We are, if you can see behind me, we've got our Curse of Strahd build going. All the printers are running pretty much non-stop right now. I am working on building at current the chapel, but what I'm doing is building a massive set from my sets from Printable Scenery of all the pieces and parts I would need to be able to build using the modulation system that they have set up, build every single map that is found within Curse of Strahd. So, and what I plan on doing once that's done, once each map is done and each build is done, is I'm going to create a parts list, and we're going to put that on our Patreon. So, those of you guys, I will say right now, check out our Patreon. Give me a couple weeks to get it more substantiated, and because I want to do a lot more. I want to start releasing encounters every month or maybe bi-weekly, and a lot more stuff for you guys. So let me work on that, but that's some things down the road that I'm working at. I'm also looking at doing, this is something off the chain, but I was at the dollar store today to get some parts and pieces for this build today, and I found these pretty cool. They are just a simple jar in a potion-like setting. It was $1 at the Dollar Tree. So what I'm going to do is I want to build more advanced health potions. If you guys have seen some of the health potions I have on my Instagram, I have little shakers that have resin pour in the bottom, and they you just shake them and you can read the dice inside. For these, I plan on making it so you pop the top and you pour out the dice in your tray, and then you put all the dice back in. So that's the build I'm looking to do for those. So that's to come. I just want to announce that. But what we're doing today, it's something I have never done before. I've wanted to do it a long time. And, so if I make mistakes, if you guys have done this before, yell it out in the comments. Hey, stupid, you're forgetting this, or you're doing that. What we're going to do today is we are going to make a cast mold of this guy. Now, this is from, I 3D printed this, but this is from Fat Dragon Games, another 3D printing file source that you can go to. Their I think it's their Monolith Statue is what it's called, and I've printed a couple of these for my game as great statues that the players pass by, and I really love ruins and that kind of thing. If you've ever watched Lord of the Rings, as they're traveling down the river, you have those two statues with their hands out, and it's a real imposing sight. But what I want to do with this guy, he's got two pegs in the back for there would be another half to him, but I only wanted the front part, and the reason is that I've mentioned on the channel, one of the other big projects that I've been planning on doing is I am going to build a custom D&D gaming table completely from scratch, and there's a lot of components that I want in a game. If I'm going to embark on this adventure of building a custom gaming table, I want it to be everything that any other DM would ever want. I want to have a integrated fog machine. I want to have integrated sound. I want lighting for the interior. I don't want to put a TV in it like everybody else does and put a map and look at the map. I build terrain for a reason. I just don't like, an LCD screen glaring up and that kind of stuff. Worrying about the players putting their pieces down too hard and, you broke the TV. I mean, and yeah, there's fixes to that. I don't care. I want to have an absolutely beautiful gaming table, and with a wood shop, a workshop, laser engravers, 3D printers, mills, lathes, all that stuff at my disposal. I feel like I've gotten to the point where I can now produce something of that caliber. So what a lot of these projects I've been doing are building the small components to it. So some of the things, little show and tell. I bought the leg brackets to the table. I don't even know if I'm going to use these. I really don't like hardware. And by hardware, I mean like screws, nuts, bolts, that kind of stuff. Now, I might go that route just because if I build a table and I joint the legs, joining meaning that they fit together, you know, with wood glue and friction, that would be a problem if I, you know, glue legs all together and then I try and bring it in through the door from my workshop. So that would probably not work. So, and yeah, you can, you know, let's go friends with it. Lift the legs, you know, tilt it. We can do that, but I think bolting on legs is probably going to be the ideal thing. But anyways, so some of the components I have for this table, and I've done some rough sketches, but nothing showable yet, is that I want all four corners of the table to be essentially a homage to, you know, the master crafters, something along those lines. I don't want to say I'm going to do a dwarven table, but probably. I mean, they've got dwarven runes, they've got, you know, just the strong statues, that kind of stuff. The fact that I'm going to make it out of wood, I know would go elven with it, but maybe we'll do a Mod Podge of it. The doors to Khazad-dûm, also known as the Mines of Moria. That the Great Door, the Western Gate, I think it was called. It was made by Celebrimbor and a great dwarf craftsman. So maybe I'll do something like that. Elves and dwarves of ancient lore work together and form this magical door. Something like that. We'll see. I don't know. I still got to do the artwork for it because I plan on laser engraving pretty much all of it, and then I want to, like I said, have the table lighting up. So if you're wondering, well, why don't you just 3D print 3 more of these and clean them up? And I'm using this as a blank, and the reason is that, well, you can't see through this, and nothing you can 3D print you can see through currently. That technology doesn't exist. But what you can see through is resin, and I think it would look really good if all 4 corners of this had one of these imposing, and they would be able to be lit up. So putting in integrated LED lighting that is color changing. And the only way I could think of doing that is to cast this with LED lights in it and then, you know, make it so I can plug it in. And I think that would look really, really cool on all 4 corners. Other things I want the table to do, like I said, I have a Fog Monster 2 fog machine for tabletop. I want to integrate that into the table so that when I flip a switch or hit it has a keyless fob, which is really cool. When I hit that, fog actually travels through and out of the demon head mouths, if you've ever played Tomb of Horrors. So there's a lot of things we're going to do that I want to do with this table. And that table, I will definitely doing a video of the making of that when we come to it. But before I get there, I need to make some of the pieces and parts. So let's just get into it. We're going to, like I said, we're going to make a mold. I bought, again, I've never done this before, so it's going to be me learning. This is Umo. It's not sponsored or like that, but it's a 2-part. It's kind of like making epoxy resin. You know, and we've done that on the channel so far. You know, you pour in part 1, you pour in part 2, and then you have so much work time and so on and so forth. But before we can start mixing this and pouring it, we need to make this guy a box that he can be in, so we can pour the resin, or not the resin, the rubber silicone. I think it's silicone on top of it. So, by the way, if you're wondering, well, this looks like a little bit beat up, and you can see spots, and you know, there's a little bit of spot there. Again, I 3D printed this. As you can see behind me, all my printers are printing in black. I know my head's there. I print everything in black. It's black. What I use when I 3D print, when I'm trying to make something perfect, and this is what I recommend if you're into 3D printing, if you want something show quality, Now, most of the stuff I 3D print is at 3-layer. You can see the lines if you look for it. You would not be able to see the lines on this. And what I do is, it's something that goes back to my days in working in automotive, is you can go out and get what's called filler or Bondo. And then there's another thing you can do, which I don't want to... Filler and Bondo, it's like a putty you have to mix together again. 1 part and 2 parts, and then you rub it in and sand it down. They also make now a spray paint, which is literally called a filling primer or filler primer. It comes in a gray. And you just... This is something that most all makers use. If you are... I mean, I'm a diehard fan of Adam Savage. This is something that he uses whenever they're doing 3D printing. If you're ever wondering how his helmets are perfectly, smooth and, got that gloss to them and stuff, it's layer upon layer of filler and then sanding it and then sanding up the grits. So I already spent most of the morning sanding this. There's probably 8 layers of filler on here. And the filler does take out a little bit of the detail, but I mean, that's fine. I'm going to be casting this in resin, so there's not a lot of contrast to it. There's not going to be like paint in different areas or shading. Like I said, I want the Dwarven statues to glow. So let's start doing this. So I normally buy, we're going to use foam core for this. I usually go to my local not my craft store, the Dollar Tree, dollar store. Not just the Dollar Tree. Everything's $1, and they've got big foam core boards. And the paper rips off very easily, and all this yada 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 yada. I had a concern using that my when I pour this, somehow the paper would come off in the mold, or it wouldn't be. I couldn't make it. I don't want to say watertight, if you know what I mean. But I had concern. So I went with this. I think it's from Elmer's. And it came in... it was more pricey, but this is more sturdy than my other foam core where, just carrying it around will make it bend and crack. So bear with me. I'm going to flip over the camera so you guys can look down while we do this. And we're just going to go into it step by step. Should be a lot of fun. And again, hit me up in the comments, concerns, what do you think's going on? So, we'll get on to it right now. Give me 1 sec here. Sorry, bear with me 1 sec, guys. It looks like the camera, when I was moving it, got mad. So, and this is something I'll be upgrading here. I'm just waiting on some cables. I have a very high-end camera to be coming. So, bear with me here. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Technical issues happen. Please forgive me. Alright. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take our board. This is not one of those things that I really care too much about using well. Or managing material. So, split that in half. And that should work just fine. So what we need to do here, got a hot glue gun going. First, I want to get my dwarf firmly secured in my on the board. And I need to get a better glue gun, but you know, it'll be something down the road. I don't really use hot glue all that much. I know other crafters use it, like, swear by it, but... Come on. My gun was just warming up, so I think that's why we're having issues. Perfect. So we got him down. Now we need to build walls around here, and I don't need large walls or like that because I don't want to waste a ton of material. So, fun fact, this should be of equal size to there. So, let's say about there. It's exact science, right? This is why it's nice to have a cutting board on your desk. And if you're like, well, JP, why didn't you cut that before, you started the stream? I want you guys to see all of it. I mean, it's an adventure we're undertaking together. I, again, have never done this before, ever. Alright, and I want a perfectly flat bottom. So I'm going to cut the other side as well off of this. Could have probably gotten a ruler. I literally have one to the right of me, but meh. For next time, right? One more pass. And I think I'll use the other board just so I have a perfect flat edge. Alright, let's start building our walls. Sorry if my fat head's in the way. So note for anybody who wants to undertake this adventure, get a better glue gun than what I have. Because this one is no bueno. I'm sure I can make it work, but It's like it's not feeding is the problem. Give me 1 second here. I don't want it resting on that mouse pad. Yeah, it looks like there's a jam in there. That's our problem. I think it's because I had it warming when I was starting up. So it was sitting on its side. There we go. That's much better. Much better. There we go. Alright, what I said about the glue gun, just make sure you're using it right, because you're not an idiot. Because I can't attest to that. Now, I'm not trying to be sparingly here with the glue. This has got to be sealed completely. Guys, I do not want any leaks. Leaks are bad. Now we're cooking with gas. It's so much easier now. I feel like I'm... So what you're kind of actually going for, I would think, is like caulking. You guys know what I'm talking about, and no, I didn't say what you think I might have said if you were dirty-minded. Oh shoot, I got glue on the mold. It's not what I want, or on my blank. I do not want that. Of all the things I want, I do not want that. Let's see, is this something that we can easily fix? Since I only got a little bit of glue on this guy to begin with, to glue him down, I think I'm going to pop him off real quick. Just so I can make sure, because all of this work, I do not want any, issues with it. Because any imperfections, any glue I were to get on him, that's why I did all the sanding. Alright, so let's get this back down and clean up that seam. Okay. Now I'm sure there's some term for the mold I'm making here, like a single whatever mold, but I don't know the term. I know there's a like 2-part mold where it's like, 2 halves, one on top of the other and that kind of stuff. Again, don't know the term, but it kind of made the walls a little high, but we're all right. We're all right. So I think the next time I do this, I will not, I won't glue the statue down right off the bat, because it allows me to do the inseam very easily, without having to worry about it. It lets me get the wall as close as I can. I don't have to worry about getting glue on them. Okay. One thing I hate about glue guns is they make a mess, in my opinion. Get all the stringiness and that kind of stuff, and drives me crazy. Now, I did hear that from some people who've done this process, they used Legos, which sounds like a really good idea. I mean, I have a ton of Legos, but I don't have them here anymore. Most of my Legos now reside with my parents for, my nieces, nephews, stuff like that. I'm now realizing something else I should have done. I should have left this side off and done, to box it in, but again, learning lessons as I live stream. I'd rather do this, make it enjoyable for you guys. You go, oh, I'm smarter than him. Yeah, you probably are. Oh, this thing does not like to be cut sideways. I wonder if foam core's got like wood in that, you go against the grain. If that makes sense. Also, this knife is not as sharp as it once was. And yeah, I have other blades, but that's work. I'm not here to work. I'm here to have fun. Now, a big key to this, like I said, is no leaks. I'm going to use a bit of a weapon that I use when I do resin pours to try and prevent that. Okay. Just make another one of those, I think. Because this is not going to be an exact... Yeah, just make another one of those. Make it so we only have 2 cuts. Alrighty. Alright, I know this is not exciting as, oh, look, he's pouring it now. But this is part of the process, guys. Not everything is instantaneous, perfect. I really hope I have enough of the material, too. Like I said, I've never done this before, and I mean, I'm sure I do, but... Reload, reload. hold on to that for a second. Let that set up a little bit. Look, our hot glue box and foam is coming together really nicely, guys. It's the most hot glue I've ever thrown down ever. Just letting that set up. So what I'm just doing right now is just going over it as well a second time. Just making sure that I'm getting all the seams a lot. Because I do not want this to leak at all. Alrighty, we are almost done with our box. I'm going to start mixing stuff. All right. Just giving it a good old inspection. Make sure that I'm looking at every angle here as I get scalding hot glue off my fingers. Now again, I know this doesn't look pretty or like that. This is just for making our mold. That's all this is. It's part of the process. I'm sure there's other ways to do it, but I only need this mold to survive, so long to make 4 other castings, and then it's done. I don't know if this becomes like a successful thing, though. I might make another one and, sell castings. I don't know. Never know. Alright, let's put our dwarf down for his long awaited rest. Alrighty. I think that's pretty solid, guys. So I think what I'll do is I will have the hot glue gun though on standby. Just in case we have a leak or something like that, I'm able to plug it quickly. And if you're like, well, you're wasting a lot of glue and a lot of glue sticks, you can get hot glue sticks now at the dollar store. I know I keep on saying dollar store, but yeah, they have packs of like, I don't know, like 10 or 20 for $1. So don't care. I mean, it's, when it's affordable and, whatever, then it's best. Produces the best results, Do what you gotta do. Alright, I'm gonna put some hot glue over on our crafting side. I think that's pretty solid. Oh, as I touch the hot glue. I'm an idiot, guys. I try, but I still do dumb stuff. Alright. Let's vacuum later. Hydrate a little bit. All right. So I know this stuff is 1-to-1. Liquid rubber produced for flexible molds. And then we would use like resin. And I've got a gallon of resin coming. I think it'll be here tomorrow. But so stir well before using. It says I think there's a pound of it here. Wear vinyl or nitrate gloves and eye protection when handling this product. Alright, so we need gloves. Simple enough. When you work with resin printers, you have gloves always on hand. Okay. See if it's got any, like, use a heat gun or Safety data facts. So I don't know if this is something important to know. I'm looking at this really quick just because I want to see if I need to wear my respirator. I don't know if it causes inhalation. So, already right here, inhalation, remove source of contamination from victim to fresh air. Okay, so we will with the respirator. Just, I don't know if this stuff, I didn't think this stuff was like toxic. I thought it was like made of some, bio, like but I'm not going to take any risks. I like me. So, real quick about safety, you can get a mask, safety glasses. I'm wearing my glasses already, so I'm not going to put on those glasses, but I will put on a respirator, so if I start talking like Darth Vader, that's why. I did get these helpful mixing glasses, or cups. This is a 1-to-1. So, although this is, you got 1-to-1 here, so 4 and 4, that kind of thing. But I think what I'm going to actually do, I picked these up at the dollar store again. I'm sorry, I can't stop. $1, $1. So, if they were, dangerous, toxic, you just throw it away. And you got, 4 cups. So we'll do, I want to say, I'm really bad at volume. We have to make more. I think this says 30 minutes of mixing time. Or working time. So, let me see here. It is really important to read through this, guys, when you're starting. 30 is a fast cure, portable silicone for making pour-on rubber. Parts A and B are mixed equal amounts. Pot life is 30 minutes. And rubber cures at 73 degrees Fahrenheit in about 6 hours. It is definitely not 73 degrees Fahrenheit in here. It's probably closer to 80, but I could put it in another room. So, limited shelf life. Use as soon as possible. So, I honestly don't mind if I use most of it, just because I will have to. It's limited shelf life, so I got to use all of it. And I got this, by the way, I think it was like $30, somewhere around there. So, I don't want to make a mistake. I'm not made of money. But we're going to do the best we can here. As I suit up. These are not my favorite type of gloves. I'm out of my latex gloves that I use normally. Alright. By the way, if you're looking to get a respirator, if you do this kind of stuff, you can get one at like Harbor Freight. They are pretty inexpensive there. Alright, guys. Sorry if you can barely hear me. I'm going all Breaking Bad on you guys right now. Let's say which one to use first. Says no hazardous ingredients. California Precaution 65 warning. This does not intentionally contain any chemicals, but better be safe than sorry. So I'm going to figure A, then B. If that makes sense. Alright. I don't know if we have... Let's just do 2.5 cups. Put this over there. This one, I'm telling you, is really a lot more goopy. So we're just trying to get up to 3 here. Oh, that definitely did it. Okay. There's still a bit more in there, but it's really hard to shake it. Now, something I did watch a bunch of videos before I started this, and they highly recommended not using a stirring device of like a mechanical means, because it'll put air bubbles in your... That's why I got a spatula like stirrer. And this should look purple when we're done. It's kind of psychedelic, to be honest with you. I don't want those air bubbles in there. I'll tell you right now, this is, it's like trying to turn clay, if you've ever done that. It's just real stiff. So make sure I'm thoroughly mixed all the way. Alright, so I'm going to move this stuff over to another screen because I don't want to do the pour on my desk. As you can imagine, I have some expensive, I mean, just this mouse pad is... So, we're going to move over to the other camera, and I will see you guys in 2 seconds as I get over there. Alright guys, so here we are. Let me get my screen over so I can see what we're doing here.
You might be good for a fort. Now try and put it in the corner, in this corner. Just let it fill in. I hope I got enough. You can always make more some. I might have to make all of it. Yeah, because it's not covering his hand all the way.
Alright, guys, so we're going to make the rest of it. I thought I had enough, but we're just going to use the whole thing because I want to make sure that that's as solid as possible, you know? So... So bear with me as we get the last of it in here. It does appear, though, that the mold box is actually doing very well, holding up. Happy about that. And bear with me, guys. I'm just mixing up the last of it right now. So I'm sorry. Here I can try and show it to you. Let's flip over. So the only problem is a lot of the part A doesn't want to seem to come out. And my spatula won't fit in there. Let me see if I have a sacrificial paintbrush or something I can use. Let's do that. So that's another recommendation I'm learning now, guys. If you do buy this, make sure you have something to get in there, maybe like a paint stick or something. Because it is kind of goopy in the bottom. Alright, let's see how that works. I want to get as much off that paintbrush as I can. Again, like I said, guys, it's everything. I mean, a lot of the stuff I share with you is the first time I'm doing it. I'm gonna make mistakes, so don't. My advice on this: never ever get discouraged. You know, like the biggest problem is the fear of making a mistake. You know, you're going to. It's part of the process of making stuff. I have made tons of stuff in my life, and a lot of it has not worked out, and some of it has completely failed. It is honestly, I don't want to say I intend to fail, but you almost have to. How are you going to learn? You know, how could you want to make it better if you don't fail? If you never learn from your mistakes, you're, you know, this is not how it works. Alright, we'll get that last part on there. Hopefully that's enough. Alright. So that's the adventure, guys. I am not too sure how well that's going to come out. I mean, it's covered, but the... So here, let me flip this up here. Give me 1 second. Alright, sorry about that, guys. So, as you can tell, not all things always work out. It's fully covered. We'll see how it goes. I hope it'll work out. If it doesn't, you know, I'll try and find a workaround. It looks like everything is covered up to the hand. Has a bit of a... a coverage issue, but I hope that that won't, you know, I don't know. Maybe this mold making material is more forgiving. Maybe it's not. We'll find out. It'll be the adventure. We'll see, you know, in the next video. I'll let you guys know how it turned out. But, yeah. So, and if not, you know, I mean, looking at this now, what I could have done better is instead of making square walls, you know, where the head tapers off, I could have slanted it, kind of make it a coffin. You know, take up less mold making material. Could have gotten more mold making material. But, you know, everything's a learn, you know, so, and that's part of the fun of it, so. But thanks for hanging out with us, guys. I'll probably do some gaming here in a bit. You know, shoot me in the comments, give a like, subscribe, you know, what you want to see next. We will definitely be doing resin pours in the very near future. A lot more fun to come. And the Curse of Strahd stuff still going on. Like I said, a lot of big plans for that. But I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great night. Be safe out there. And may all your rolls be natural 20s. See you guys.